I was shooting you.
Huh?
Said I was shooting you.
Oh, were you?
So polite, you walked out of your shot.
God. Carrying garbage.
That's right.
Just one of her chores.
Yeah.
You just bought a house over, it's a ways from here, just on the outskirts of town. Paid like $25,000 for it. It was a friend of his that had passed away, so the family offered it to him. So a lot of books came out of there. You should have seen what came out of that place.
Wow.
And it was all free money. He's been making money on, the guy was like a hoarder.
Wow.
Albums, CDs, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just amazing. So I told him, I said, I think I'll hit the highway and go to Albuquerque. And he looks at me and I go, unless you want me to work. So I'm going to help him set up for a estate sale.
And that just happened, his friend?
House? Just now, yeah.
Wow.
So I thought maybe I'll just get out on the highway or something. Go take a ride and check on my mother.
And where's your mom?
Albuquerque. Her and my stepdad, and she's just turned 91 in January and Alzheimer's.
Oh, no.
Sometimes she's lucid and sometimes she's so far off the wall. I thought, please God, let me take after my father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is your father still alive?
No, he passed away in 2004. He was like 80 at the time. He had congestive heart failure and he was diabetic, and
How old's your mom?
My mom?
Yeah.
91. Yeah, I know. My stepdad turned 88 in November, and he's been watching her. So I try to go down every couple of weeks and let him take her and go shopping and let him have the house to himself for 2 or 3 hours. Yeah.
To be living with Alzheimer's has to.
I know.
And you're 88 too.
You know, when she started getting like the dementia part, she would say something and I wouldn't say anything, and she goes, you just wait, your turn's coming. I go, well, thank you for that. Don't tell me that, Mom. So I don't know what does things like that. If it's the way you grew up, lived, or diet, or what, or just a gene passed down from last generation or something. Yeah.
We had I'm lucky my parents are dead.
So you don't have to take care of them?
Yeah, no. My mom
See, my
died.
two brothers won't do it, period. My brother go to Albuquerque and he goes, don't tell Mom I'm coming. I go, man, you're going to owe me big someday. I go, that's not right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was the same way I took care of my dad. He was in Texas and I had him come back to Albuquerque, and I found a retirement home for him where it was independent and he could come and go. And yeah. I had a 2-story house then, and there was no way he could go up and down the stairs. And a husband that was bipolar, I go, this is not a good combination.
Yeah, what a hand
I think
to
I'll
be
join
dealt.
you, Dad, you know.
Oh man, what a hand. When was that? What years?
What year?
Yeah, what year were you going through all that? How long ago?
Well, Dad died in 2004, so he was in Albuquerque for 3 years. And then I was married to the one with bipolar for 9.5 years and got a divorce. We tried to stay friends up until I moved down here. He went to Texas. He was in California, and his family don't understand his mental things or anything. And I learned. I just had to talk to doctors, psychologists, everybody to find out what was wrong with him.
My sister has an ex-bipolar husband that went down to live in Texas too.
Oh, God.
I guess that's where they go.
Well, I told him, after I heard what was going on there and the way he was treated, his dad was great. It was the rest of the family. His mom is bipolar. His daughter's bipolar. The son doesn't show any signs of it yet.
Did you two have any kids together or anything?
No.
Oh,
My
good.
first marriage, we had a son, and my son passed away 11 years ago. He had a kidney transplant when he was 16 and made it to 38. And it was something that happened at work where he ended up with an aneurysm of the aorta. I know he's working on a car, and a spring or something went loose and hit him in the belly area. So, but 38 years. I mean,
so
30 years. I see he had his kidney for just shy of 2 days of 24 years, which was unheard of. So he did good, but
Wow.
I don't know. Life doesn't deal you
Yeah.
very well sometimes.
Yeah, no, my mom, her first child died when she was 19. She had her when she was 19, and she died at 19 this year.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And like, so I came much later, but all my sisters lived with the death, like going through it personally, and then
Yeah.
I lived with like the grief, and it was,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It is.
It's
It doesn't go away.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom died a few years ago. My dad died 2 years ago, and all in short order they died. But man, it's like, I'm sure it's insane when it's your child, but even just as my mother, it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
And you know, at that, my son told me one time, he goes, Mom, I'm not going to be here forever. And the last week I saw him, they came over for supper and walked him down the stairs, and she was already in the car, and he stopped me and he says, I don't want my son raised by her family. I want him raised the way I was raised. I go, you're not going anywhere. You're going to bury me. I'm not going to bury you. Well, lo and behold, look what happened. Yeah. But at least he didn't put me on Phil Donahue or whatever for a bad mother, you know.
Yeah, there's a silver lining.
I know, that's what I thought. I go, oh God.
That is so
At
funny.
least he wasn't mad at me.
Yeah, wow. That's
Yeah, he was having to look for at another transplant, and he just was tired and didn't want to do it, he told me, and told my stepdad the same thing, so I can't blame him for that. Yeah, he was a good kid. Happy kid, had lots of cousins and everything, so he had a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, life really does it to you.
Yeah, it does.
It's relentless.
It's like, but you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and going. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you worked here?
I moved here in 19. Started working for him, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd of July. Yeah, so it'll be 2 years this July.
Nice. This is an interesting place to work.
All that stuff is free on the table too.
Is that right?
Yeah, when he gets it and he doesn't want it, or people donate, it goes on the table.
And how do you say the name of the store?
So she's?
Zoshi's.
Uh-huh. You got me going to the dumpster, so now you know I got the trash. Those cases that I had in the apartment in my car. Start loading them.
You have enough shit in there?
Oh, pen and writing loaded it.
Huh?
Pen and writing loaded it.
Always breathing down your neck. Yeah. Just looking for something wrong.
I think this is a violation of child labor laws around here.
That's funny. Did you get in this room too?
No, it's
This is what he calls the sets room. A lot of old, expensive books in here too. I think he got a whole bunch of metal bookcases where we're gonna try to reorganize things.
there's so many.
Yeah, there is. Get them all off the floor and out of the boxes. You got in here all the way too?
What do we have back here?
Oh, everything. That line's all the way back in there too. People come in, they can't find their husbands, and I have to tell them they're in the corner. Did you get these at the state auction too? Baskets?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're crappy, but I got that good
I know, I saw
basket
it.
with me. All the baskets for $50.
$2?
Big one is maybe 5. The one that would be
These are like Tim's Oasis baskets. I'm sorry for you know, has to go through my
Well, they pretty much figured out it was his girlfriend. Sherman?
Oh.
Just got out of prison. Screwing everybody with the story.
She lands a bit back in prison. The old days just go hanging in the town square.
I know, right?
Yeah. Whatever the crime they did, she was sitting in
Oh, you're
Yeah.
It ended up one of the people down there, but they never did a darn thing.
Usually in homicides like that, they call state police in.
There is a state police. I called the sheriff called the state police. First time, like an episode of Cops with cars going down their roads towards the house.
Is it the first one that you just grabbed? Or is it?
all the ones from the ocean.
You know what they call that? It's a bird's design. I got one from a lady out in the Gizi, that little baskets. Yeah.
Well, that's a Pakistani copy of
Is it?
of
Of the Navajo? Okay.
Yeah.
But that was what was called the birds.
They sell them at the auction sometimes. Indian basket, it breaks $200.
They do the same thing with rugs too. Yeah.
No,
When they make them in Mexico, they just. I was reading that book on basketry
yeah.
that I put up in the native room, and they were saying how to tell if it's false or fake or whatever. And they're made from Mexico. They're good rugs, but there's things to look for too. You know more about that. You looked at that stuff too.
I got some good wine too. Last estate sale, I paid $10 a piece for some French Baron Philippe de Rothschild. One's worth 40, one's worth 50. I bought them because I thought they'd be like the other ones, 400 or 500.
Yeah.
The right years, but the wrong grape.
Ah.
The stuff I used to drink, it's like 400 or 500 now. I'm going home.
How'd you get into this?
I was on probation, and I had to do something, so I went back to school, and I borrowed all their money, and I owe a ton of money to student loans, which Biden is going to get rid of, I think. I moved out here from New Jersey to mix our Russian Jewish blood with Spanish and Native American blood. And we did it. I have 2 kids that are part Indian and a granddaughter that's half Indian. And yeah, whatever.
What'd you call this place? What kind of oasis?
Ethnographic Oasis. Study of peoples and their motives and their histories and their mythologies and their crafts.
What brought you to ethnography?
Well, that was my interest at the university. And I discovered, well, if I got a degree and became an archaeologist, I'd make 50 cents over minimum wage. And I had 3 kids. I was an unwed father with 3 kids to raise. So I decided I will use my knowledge to buy and sell books and artifacts on the subject rather than sitting there holding a pole for people. I had already been a surveyor before when I was young.
Yeah. How long have you been in New Mexico?
Well, let's see, about 42 years.
Yeah.
And down here, 27.
How long has this store been here?
27 years.
Is that right?
So I've probably been here 29.
And where in Jersey are you from?
Jersey City.
Oh yeah.
Born and raised Jersey City. Then everybody I lived with died, and my aunt and uncle took me in Highland Park, and I went to Rutgers for a little while, and dropped out, and spent 40 years being a hippie.
What were you on probation for?
Mushrooms.
Is that right? What year would that have been?
What?
What year?
88 to 91. I moved down here the day I got off probation.
Go somewhere where you can get away with doing mushrooms?
No.
Yeah, my dad's from Hackensack, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And
Mushrooms are legal in Michigan now.
is that right?
And they're about legal in Denver, like the lowest priority. There's so many studies. It's a healing thing. You know?
Yeah.
Not a dangerous thing. He needs to go.
Yep.
The son get up. Okay. One of my sons,
Yep.
my youngest son.
That's your son?
Yeah, that's 3 sons. I
Oh.
moved down here with. He was a cop for a year and a half.
What happened there?
I used this cop car to pull over his ex to see where the hell his kids were because they weren't letting him see them. And that was misuse of government property.
Right.
You could have pulled him over as an individual, but not turn on his lights and do a police stop for a non-police mission.
Yeah.
He fought it for a couple of years in court, and he lost it. Lost his job. This did not sell. Well, Amazon started as a bookstore out of his garage.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's been a documentary.
Wow.
They went around, they bought 1 million books.
Oh.
So he had some money, and then he just opened up a bookstore. You see where that went.
Wow, that is unbelievable. I forgot it was a bookstore. Like in the early days of the internet. Wow. Where do you sell mostly?
Online.
Yeah. What sites and venues for books like this?
Aid Books, Biblio, eBay, 3 sites basically.
Yeah. So your day is just like constant shipping.
Well, we do about 15,000 a month.
Is that right?
This is pretty good for this size place.
Yeah, you're like a proper book dealer, aren't you?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to become a professional book dealer? Like, when did you realize you could
While I
do
was
this?
at the university, I got a student job at the library. 2nd floor Zimmerman Library, 300,000 books, history and anthropology. And my job was to shelve them every day. take 300 books, a cart full, and put them back on the shelf where they belong. And I really fell in love with books at that point. Now, as a kid in the weekly reader book club, I'd read 2-3 books a week. No idea I was collecting.
Now you're just surrounded by them.
Yeah.
Every second. Do you have a lot of books at home too, or you keep them all here?
Do you read these books? I don't read. I mean, I know how to read, but I purposely do not read.
Yeah.
Early on, I'd write a little poem or a story, and you would get that published, they tell me. I said, no, I'm going to live a poem, not write a poem.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, yeah, a pretty exotic, wild life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mushrooms a big part of it, but don't put that in there.
Somebody come in here looking for some Ken Kesey?
Some what?
Ken Kesey?
Has somebody? No.
Okay.
But we have some.
You do? You have a copy of Sometimes a Great Notion?
No.
No.
No. Was that what he was looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe they've already gone back.
Did a couple young folks come in here? Just in the
There's
last
been
5 minutes?
several people in here today.
I'll wait outside.
Mind if I go home?
Who's the off the street traffic that you get in here?
What?
Do you get locals or is it mostly tourists?
No, locals hardly come in here.
Yeah.
They buy a couple of Manila more paperbacks for $1. You know, of the newer people. I mean, this was still rednecks and old people, and the town's getting younger and smarter, and their IQs are going up. And
It's a pretty cool story.
it's becoming more cultured than it was. I think we have something to do with it. People say, we used to come for the baths, now we come for the books, and then we take a bath while we're here. But we're becoming a destination.
Yep.
We're written up with some magazines,
Go ahead.
best independent bookstores in New Mexico.
Conversations at the same time,
Stuff
which I
like
actually can't do.
More people in the last hour than there's been in
This is what happens when I show up places.
I'll believe you. You could be a good look, son.
Perfect. I'm just going to put this in my pocket.
We're looking for an employee, too.
Are you?
Yeah, she works Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning.
No.
That's it. My other guy works 7-11 every morning, 7 days a week, but he won't work past 11.
Yes.
So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoon we're closed. We're closed all Saturday afternoon. Sunday we're totally closed. But nobody wants to work all the time.
Yeah.
Except me. I get here at 5.
You have all these books to get rid of.
I get here at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
And I go home at 8, take a break and nap and toke and come in for a couple hours and do the same. And leave around 3 o'clock, get my beer, and I'm asleep by 6:30.
Perfect. And you're selling books to people. You're giving them something that's valuable. There's so little that's actually valuable that people sell.
Right.
You've figured one out.
Right. Yeah. And when people having to stay home, we increased the business because they didn't want to go to a bookstore. And if they're going to order online, why not order from a zip code that has very little COVID compared to other places? We're pretty careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed.
We got gloves and wipes and masks and spray for anybody that wants it. So right there.
Good. Yeah, I'm shocked how careful New Mexico seems. Colorado's spotty. They're either way overcorrecting or way
Right.
undercorrecting.
Yeah, down there, Durango, they got really bad
Yeah.
for a while. Well, international skiers, they run from everybody.
He's probably off to pull over his ex.
He's undercover.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
This place is just amazing. I might be back next week.
Okay.
It was so nice to meet you. Nice to talk to people again. My God. Excuse me.
Gee, I'm heading home.
Oh, listen to. Oh, Tom Clancy.